Ladies and gentlemen, it is in fact Jover. It is done for Flintlock, the Siege of Dawn. Now, we talked about this when the game released to abysmal player counts, what, 600 and some odd people? Checking that stuff out on day one. Like, nobody cares about this stuff, bro. Sweet Baby Inc. claims another victim, but in this case, a willing participant. You brought on Kim Belair as a consultant. You play stupid games, you win stupid prizes. Flintlock, the Siege of Dawn from developer A44 Studios, with the help of Sweet Baby Inc. and publisher Kepler Interactive, released the abysmal player numbers. Oh no! According to SteamDB, the game's peak concurrent players in its first 24 hours of release only hit 648. Not only was the number of players abysmal, but the game ranks 85th on Steam's top seller list, indicating that people are not purchasing the game. And oh no, there was an initial 10% off discount. Oh no, for launch month. That's not good. That's not good at all. Hey, this weekend it might be better. It's no surprise that the game is not being purchased and played, given Sweet Baby Inc. worked on the game. The game was added to Sweet Baby Inc. detected Steam curator list, and yeah, still got a bone to pick with those guys, but I got a video coming out. Because as you can see, yeah, when it's added and when it's justified, that list is in fact a kiss of death for woke games. And in the case of Flintlock, justifiably so, because we heard from the developers that this game was vastly different prior to Kim Belair and the COO, whose name is escaping me right now, coming in with their ideology, changing the main character in the game, doing the old South Park meme, sticking a chick in it and making it lame. They ruined the game for ideological purposes, letting people know that that is the driving force, that is the creative gusto behind a game. That's very important. But if you just don't simply like something and you want to throw it on the list because you think it will play well to your base, I got a problem with that. But anyways, the curator acts as a boycott list for games so that they can avoid all games that Sweet Baby Inc. has worked on the available... that are available on Steam. The list has expanded to include other non-Sweet Baby Inc. games, yeah, and even some that don't even have aspects of consultancy firms, don't even point specifically to what has been changed in a certain game. No, they just throw it up there because we don't like your game. All but push the same woke ideology and DEI agenda as Sweet Baby Inc. Flintlock, the Siege of Dawn was worked on by Sweet Baby Inc. and its CEO, Kim Belair. This was confirmed by former A44 COO, Andrea Tops-Harjo. There we go, that's who we're talking about. In her interview with Edge magazine, the outlet reported for Flintlock, it was Tops-Harjo who brought on Kim Belair, the Montreal-based narrative director, who has advocated for better representation and stories as a means of bringing new and exciting ideas to games. She took the wonderful she took the wonderful base layer that Derek had, the world, and just elevated it. You know the difference when there's a person who's reflecting at you and it's true. There's a certain truth that resonates that can't be faked. I know some people won't notice, but the people who are attuned to that, they'll get it immediately. And trust me, bro, from all of your pre-release material, your interviews, your key art, everybody knew, everybody could see what they would be getting into, and yeah, they ended up responding to it in kind. And that's the exact same thing that happened to the likes of Tales of Kenzara Zhao. Same thing that happened to Alan Wake 2. Same thing that happened to Suicide Squad Kills the Justice League. You get in bed with these cretins, get the stench of SBI on you, and there's no washing this stuff off. And it even extrapolates further out to the rest of the industry, specifically with Concord and that character that looks, oh boy, an awful lot like Kim Belair. Haven't heard any concrete connections between Concord and any sort of consultancy firm other than, oh, they work with Sony and they've got an onboard DEI department. It's like, point me specifically to what they did. But anyways, now Concord open beta, right? So we're talking about the numbers. After the closed beta, where they only had, they topped out at 11 or 1,200 players. But that was, somebody who pre-ordered the game only on Steam and have access to a PS5 with a PS Plus account, where you ended up getting free access to the closed beta. But no, if you forked out $40 of cash to pre-order it on Steam, you got a code to the closed beta, and then 4 additional codes as well to just, share out to your friends so you could go ahead and enjoy in the misery of squad-based play. And I actually heard a couple of reviews of what the closed beta was like, and a lot of people, and not pleased, okay? The best review I heard was a middling gameplay that tries to sell you on it being an Overwatch clone, but has really nothing to do with Overwatch all that much. All the way down to, yeah, this game is just absolute trash. Plays like crap, and it's not going to end up lasting a month. And now that we have the open beta, where it has a larger player base to theoretically take advantage of, and yeah, it fails to top 2,500 concurrent players in the first day. Not great. Firewalker Studios open beta for Concord went live on July 18th, and the game failed to top 2,500 concurrent players in its first day, theoretically when it was the most popular. Official account for Concord opened that the beta was live at 4 p.m. Eastern on July 18th. According to SteamDB, the game's peak concurrent players capped out at 2,388 about 2 hours after the open beta went live on 6:10 p.m. Eastern time. And oh boy, well, we got the numbers. Okay, we got the live numbers right now, and well, all-time peak, yeah, it's that 2,388, as you can see right there. No tricks up my sleeve on this one. I don't know if they're going to be opening it up again over the weekend, but we'll see. And I'll especially be checking in on this when the game goes into full release, because it's going to be interesting to see what they ultimately end up doing. For comparison, the game's early access beta that ran through last weekend hit a peak concurrent player count of 1,124, which means the game's player count just barely doubled between the much more restrictive early access beta and the open beta. Boy. So you're telling me when you're trying to go ahead and push a game, you're trying to push a hero-based shooter, a character-based FPS, and you're trying to market that on just ugly-ass characters, on pronoun-spouting, androgynous-looking sacks of flesh. You really thought that this was going to be a good idea, huh? YouTuber Endymion also notes that the open beta is currently free, but will have an initial price tag of $40 in the official release to the public. He wrote on X, yeah, it's free, and they can only get 2,300 players dead on arrival. It's no surprise that the player count of the game is so low, given the negative reaction of the Game Spotlight to the PlayStation State of Play presentation back in May. The presentation revealed that the game was a 5v5 multiplayer shooter, and it would feature pronoun nonsense and DEI-designed characters. And yeah, just the gameplay itself looked sluggish and something that you could get better elsewhere. And then on top of that, you could also get it for free elsewhere. Like the game that they're trying to leech off of in Overwatch is an old-ass game. Like it's coming up on its, 8th or 9th anniversary? So it has all of that legacy content. It has all of those characters that you can go out and buy, and it's a free download. If you're trying to attract that fan base and you're putting a $40 price tag over the top of it with fewer features, fewer reasons to make the jump, why would you think that this would work? In fact, yes, Firewalker Studios director of IP Kim Kiernes also hinted that the game would push woke ideology through transgenderism in cinematic vignettes that will release weekly. Yeah, exactly. And you're supposed to care about these characters that you just can't even stand looking at. And again, that was another part of the reviews that I was hearing. It's like those characters, they're just all bad, bro. All written like ass, without anybody really getting into specifics, but we could kind of read through the lines, or read between the lines on this one and know that, oh yeah, no, they're pushing the message. She detailed every character brings your own unique personality, skills, and wide-ranging perspectives to the crew. Yeah, but what I've been hearing is they're all insufferable. Every week you log into Concord, yeah, you will be welcomed with a new cinematic vignette that will give you a chance to see our characters off the job. So yeah, we're not doing like a dedicated story mode, we're not doing a dedicated campaign. We're just going to drop cutscenes every week. Yeah, that's kind of stupid. They will feature ongoing narrative arc that grows the character stories and relationships and unpacks a broader Concord galaxy. How about, okay, if you want to make a TV show, if you want to release just short videos, open up a YouTube channel. Don't funnel money and pretend that you've been working on a game for the better part of a decade. Numerous players took issue with the character designs. Okay, Cabrutus, curator of, yes, SBI detected and DEI detected, reacted to the listed pronouns on X. Yes, so the robot has pronouns in the next Sony game. I wonder if it's a part of that list. I haven't checked or anything like that, but we'll see. Okay, on YouTube, players torched the game for being a live service game, 5v5 shooter, too similar to Overwatch. Following the trailer's release, it was discovered that the game's lead character designer, John Wisniewski, is a woke activist. The 2020 former Bungie lead programmer, Peter Kovetsky, stated thinking that all white people are unconsciously racist is the same as thinking that all black people are unconsciously lazy. I mean, he's got a point. But Wisniewski, this is an oversimplification. The sentiment being expressed is that whites must acknowledge their privileged position and actively work for equality. It will be hard for confronting work, and we don't. But if we don't, we're complicit, and complicity allows systemic racism to persist. yeah, I'm sure glad that this is your outcome, okay? This is your end point, where you just have a bunch of black people enacting violence on each other. Really based take that you have there, John. You're really sticking it to the chuds, huh? Unbelievable. But who could have possibly seen this game failing? But I'll be looking forward to the release of this abomination. But hey, who knows? We'll never get the full numbers. Sony will never release how many people are playing it on PlayStation. I'd imagine it's going to be a wild success, and it won't immediately, within the next couple of weeks, more than likely by the end of the year, turned into a free-to-play salvage fest. It'll more than likely be dead by the spring, a la Suicide Squad kills the Justice League, and wokeness kills another game. So with all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.